And because of this, we have to cut a small portion into the bumper. Okay, so far we removed 2 of them. You guys see this gap here? And I think it's because of this. So it's good. We just need to cut that off. I think I want to just cut it off like this. And that's it, guys. That wasn't so hard, right? Hey everyone, welcome to Chasing Adventures. Today we're going to be installing the Trailsport wider fenders on the 2025 Honda Pilot Trailsport. So I got this Fender Flare about 6 months ago, but I didn't have time or place to put them on. But I really wanted to put this on the Pilot because I think the Trailsport should have came with these fenders to begin with, because, you know, to differentiate between Trailsport and regular Pilot models. But they didn't, so here we are. And I got this kit from OEM Honda Parts Direct. The part number is 08P21-T90-100, and the final price that I paid, including shipping, was $488.77. And that's because shipping cost was fairly low for a big size box that it came in, and they didn't charge me any tax. So, you know, $488, you get Fender Flares. Not bad. Now, I laid the Fender Flares out, so that's the rear and this is the front. Now, the rear comes in 3 pieces. If you look at the fender lining right now, it's all in one piece. But I mean, obviously, except for the door. But this piece is in one piece, but they decided to separate, I don't know, for some reason. And no instructions came in the box, but you can find the instruction easily on Google just by searching Pilot Trailsport Fender Flare Installation Guide, and you'll get it. Now, looking at the instructions, you do have to cut partial portion of the bumper, both front and rear, which I really don't want to do because, you know, for some reason, if I don't like it and if I want to put it back to how it was before, you know, I don't want to have a giant hole that's there for no reason. So first, let's take a look at it and then decide what we're going to do. Also, it looks like you have to take out the front bumper and the rear bumper, which I really hope we don't, because that'll make the process so much harder, but we'll find out soon enough. So yeah, the rear comes in 3 pieces like this. Let me show you the front. This is the front. And again, it comes in 2 separate pieces. And because of this, we have to cut a small portion into the bumper to fit this in. So, I mean, worst case, I'll just cut that off and, you know, see how that works. But if you look at the inside, there's a double-side tape that's gonna be holding the upper portion of the Fender Flares. And then you're gonna be using the original clips that came in the car that's holding the original Fender liner right now. So, you know, by looking at that, there's so many of them, and plus this one's really close to the edge. I don't think we need to drill a hole in the bumper for this to fit in. So first, let's remove the fender liner and then go from there. So first things first, if you have a mud guard, you have to remove this first. Okay, so the mud guard's out, and if you look at my mud guards, it may look different from yours because I had to cut a portion of it because my tires were rubbing against that. So that's why, you know, mine's cut like this, but there's an extra bolt. So there's total 4 bolts that you need to remove the mud guards. After that's removed, I think, yeah, there's a 10 mil. It feels like it's 10 mil. There's one 10 mil bolt here, and everything else should just pop right out. So let me remove that first. Or there might be 2 more bolts on the corner of the front of the bumper, but let me remove that first. Okay, yeah, it is a 10 mil. There we go. And here's the bolt. It just pops right out after that. There we go. And we're just gonna pop it all the way through. Okay, just kidding. There's a screw here and screw up here. So it's just a Phillips screw. Okay, so far we removed 2 of them. Let's continue on. Okay, I think there's one more here, down here, holding this edge. Okay, so total 3. There we go. And we need to remove all of these green push tabs because we're going to be reusing them. And these yellow clips too, we need to take these out too. But before we go any further, let me see how this will work. Yeah, it looks like I don't need to cut it. It fits pretty well. So let me remove that screw. Put all the clips back here. And then wipe down the surface first, and then we'll try to install that without cutting the bumper. Okay, so I got my quick detailer. Okay, that's clean. Oh yeah, and then I have to remove this screw. Okay guys, so I have the Fender Flare on and the battery died while I was explaining how to put this on. But if you look at the Fender Flare, there's double side tape here. What I did was I peeled this portion of it and just kind of flipped it to the top like this, so that when we're lining this up and putting it on, the double side tape is not going to interfere with, you know, lining it up perfectly. So that's why I did that. And everything seems to be lined up pretty well. I put the 10mm bolt back on. All the clips went into the hole. The 2 screws, I put it back. But you guys see this gap here? And I think it's because of this. Yeah, so I think we might have to cut this out. I mean, it's there to hold it more securely, but you know, with the clips and the double side tape alone, it's not gonna go anywhere. And I think that's a dumb design. You know, they could have thought a little more into it and made it a little shallower so, you know, it'll fit without cutting the bumper. But that's how they made it, so it is what it is, right? Yeah, because everything else lined up perfectly. You know, I got all the screws in without any problem. Yeah. So let me just cut this. Okay, so we're gonna cut this portion out. And I did test fit the front portion, and this needs to be cut off too. And there's a reason why they wanted you to remove the bumpers, because you need to make a hole to fit this screw into the bumper, which honestly, again, there's 2 screws down here. It's held on by these clips and double side tape. I really don't think that this is necessary either. So we're gonna cut this off and cut this out. Okay, so I have it cut. Let me test fit this real quick. So it's good. We just need to cut that off. I think I want to just cut it off like this. Okay, so that's cut. There's no turning back now. But again, I'm pretty sure this is gonna hold very well, even without those pieces. So let's go put it back in the car. Okay, good. Let's put all the screws and bolts back on. Okay, and for the front piece, there's one more screw that we need to take out. It's right up here. And let me put this screw back on before we forget. So this is the front portion. And again, we need to do this to the double side tape. Okay. Then we're gonna put this. Oh, before we do that, let me now take this tape out. Okay, and then line everything up. And this should just snap in. There we go. That's a perfect fit. Good. And then we just need to put 2 screws and remove all the double-sided tape, tape it on, and we're done in the front. Simple, if you don't mind cutting those 2. Okay, just firmly press it down. All right. It's looking good. Okay, so the front is done. Let's go to the rear. Okay, so the rear is going to be a little more trickier because we have this door piece here, which should be pretty simple. And then we have this main piece, but that also connects into the door here. So let me see. Yeah, these pop right out. Actually, 1, 2 screws that's holding this from the bottom. So let me remove those first, and everything just should pop right out. Okay, so I got the 2 screws removed. And then just grab down here first. Just pop right out. Oh, actually, there's 1 more screw in here. Okay, got the 3rd screw out. Now it should pop right out. Unless there's more. No. There we go. So again, we need to take all this clip out and put it into the new Fender Flares. And I can already tell that we need to cut holes into this, which I really don't. So again, we're gonna cut portion of the Fender Flare. And then the door should just pop right out. I don't see any screws holding this. Yeah. There you go. Well, I guess there's 1 screw on the top here, but it should be a push tab, so that's why I was able to remove it. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here it is. Yeah, it's just a tiny little push tab pin. Okay, so I have the rear all prepped up, and for the rear, you just need to cut this portion out right here because this was interfering with this. So that's why they wanted you to cut this out, which I really don't want to. So again, we have all these tabs and screws that are holding this Fender Flare in place. So I don't think we need to cut into the bumper. So kind of line it up. Oh, 1 more screw to remove. Now that is in a tricky place. It's right here. Okay, so got that screw removed. Okay, so we just need to put the screws back in. Yeah, so the last screw here, wait until you put this on. Okay, so I have it all prepped. The tabs are in. And yeah, this screw goes with this, okay? Oh yeah, and don't forget to put this in too. That will slide right onto this fender. Then we put this on. Okay. Now the screw should go in. Okay, perfect. So now let's pull out the double-sided tape and stick it on. Give it a firm press. Let's do the rest of them. Pretty good fit. Okay, and then we just have to do the door, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so I have all the door portion prepped up. Then we just need to place it. Just push it in. Good. And then the last piece up here is this tab. Okay, so just grab a flathead to separate this. Okay, so I just kind of pried it out with the flathead while opening this. Okay, and then it should go right in. So just put it in and push the tab. There we go. Cool. Now remove the double side tape. And that's it, guys. That wasn't so hard, right? And again, this is, yeah, it's not going anywhere. You don't need to cut into the bumper. So we got the driver's side done, and now all we have to do is repeat it onto the passenger side. All right, it's all done. Now I'm gonna show you guys quick before and after. All right, guys, so what do you guys think? I absolutely love it. It adds rugged looks to the Pilot, and I keep saying this, but I honestly think that these wider fender flares should have came with the Trailsport trim instead of being an optional accessories to, to differentiate from other trims. And you do lose that sportiness with the thinner fender trim, but this adds that rugged looks that the Trailsport was meant to be. So now it's worthy to wear that Trailsport badge. So this was definitely worth the install. And if you've been holding it off because you have to take out the bumper and make holes on your car, which can be overwhelming to some, but with my method, you don't need to go through all those steps. So it was really easy to install. So you should definitely do it if you've been holding it off. But I gotta say, these are slightly wider. So I did lose that wider stance look that I love so much. So I may need to add some spacers to make it up for it. But it sits pretty flush with the fenders now. So if you already hate the current factory stance, this is just gonna enhance it. So get some wheels with more aggressive offset like mine. And if you wanna see my current wheels and tire setup, you could click the link on the screen now. So that's all I have for you guys today. And if this video was informative, please like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss when my next video is uploaded. And thank you all for tuning in today. And until next time, keep chasing adventures, and I'll see you all on my next video.